with over 5 billion in sales.
That's phenomenal.
When I visually see that number, I think
that's
Christ,
phenomenal.
That's a lot of zeros. And the founder of DDRE Global, which is pretty sick. It's pretty epic.
It is. Where did it all start? I want to jump in. Like, where did your love for property all start?
I didn't love property.
I just became very good at it.
No, I didn't love property. I was a kid who wasn't very good at school.
Yeah. Okay.
I enjoyed the social aspect of it, but I didn't learn that way. The way
Don't
school,
we all though? The social aspect, the best part.
I mean, to a certain extent, it was an element of bullying and stuff. You know, this is when growing up, it taught me a few things, but I wasn't very good at school. So I was told that I'm not good enough to go to university because I didn't get the grades. I wasn't particularly, I didn't really succeed at anything. So whether it was talking to girls when I was younger or playing football, I was a good footballer. That's what I hung my hat on. And I got on with people. I just liked to have nice relationships. And so I didn't really think I could achieve anything. No one told me I could achieve anything.
I mean, you've proved all that wrong. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I suppose so. But the way I looked at it was that I went to study surveying. I didn't enjoy it. I was fed up with the classroom, and I wanted to be independent and make my own money. I didn't want to rely on mum and dad. And so I did a work experience for 2 weeks, which was when I was studying business studies because I couldn't get into A-levels. And that company lost one of its staff members, and they reached out to me and said, look, would you be interested in having a permanent role here? So I had like a over the telephone interview when phones were attached to the thing.
To the cable.
Yeah, to the cable. And I said all the wrong things, but they still employed me. And I think my salary was about £7,500 a year.
Why do you think that, though? Do you think because you are a very talkable person, No?
I had good manners.
Yeah.
My mum taught me really well when it came to manners. Manners is really important. And I was keen to work.
Yes.
And I think playing football put me in a position where training every day enabled me to feel comfortable in the process.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and they saw that I licked loads of stamps and I sent information and put things through doors, and I wasn't someone who was difficult to I never push back on simple tasks.
Yeah. It's so important you said that, because I feel like these days, like you as a business person, you ask someone to do something, and sometimes you even feel a bit like, oh my God, why am I asking them to do it? Because sometimes they can be so pushed back that, no, I don't want to go the extra mile. Whereas seeing people that come from a sports background, seeing you put the hard work in, you get the results out.
Discipline.
That applying into business seems to be something that the more and more people we talk to, it's been like, well, that's the secret to success. Consistency. And willing to go that extra mile.
So what you've just said there, AJ, is put your kids into sport and they'll be successful.
100%.
I think they've got a better chance.
I agree.
I think they've got a better chance. And I think when we talk about consistency, it's consistency in failing. Mm-hmm. Because when you're young, you don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever anyone tells you, no matter how much you read or you look on YouTube, you don't know. There's very little that you know. You just know what you know. And if you're constantly failing as a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old, what happens is it puts you in a place where you realize you have to fight through it.
Resilience, yeah.
Total resilience. And I didn't know I was going to be successful, so there was no dream goal. I had no idea about chauffeur-driven cars. I had no idea about watches and boats and planes. I had no idea. I grew up in local authority housing until I was 11.
Do you think in one way, actually, that was quite nice? You know, in the day and age that we have now, everybody sees all these nice things. So in some elements, yes, it makes people work a little bit harder. But in other elements, it actually distracts people from the hard work to then be able to achieve them things. So do you think it was nice actually not having them things in your head so you could focus just on you and doing you?
Yes. Although if I knew a little bit more, I might have made different moves that would have achieved levels of success faster. So I think there's an element of balance between knowing what you know and saying, okay, this is interesting. I think I can achieve this, but being very self-aware that you still have to drive through stuff.
Yes, yeah.
That's the tricky time that we're finding ourselves in now.
Do you remember when you kind of had that eye-opening moment of seeing like, oh, there is, not saying that it sounds awful, say a light at the end of the tunnel, but there's more opportunities, there's more out there. kind of, because like we're born in Stoke-on-Trent and then moved to Cheshire in a slightly nicer area, but our mum's values were like, well, we still go back to our granddad in Snee Green. Like, it's a very stark reality compared to this London life.
It's a very working area.
It's two very different worlds.
My parents did something that is the foundation of my success, which is that my dad didn't have much money, and life got a little bit more comfortable for us from the age of about 12, 13. But there was a school that was opening up, a private school that was opening up in Maida Vale, where I grew up. And I got given the opportunity to go to the private school, and I didn't have to pay anything because they needed students to come in, right, to populate the school. And at the same time, I was going to a local youth centre that was almost next door to the school.
Yeah.
It was one of the wisest decisions my parents ever made, because I was when I was going to the youth centre, I was one of the only kids with both parents. I was the only Jewish boy. Everyone else around me looked different, sounded different. Yep. I was different to everyone else. And that was really difficult, but it was an amazing experience because I got to learn different things. All of a sudden I had friends who were West Indian, Jamaican,
you understood
Georgian.
The culture,
I understood how to start speaking to different people, understanding different cultures and religions. I didn't have any boundaries or barriers. You know, it was just interesting, and I didn't realize that I was in a pool of so many different kinds of people, and I was learning the skill of communicating with them all. And then I went to the local, the school, the private school, and the kids were more affluent, and they had both their families, and I was the kid that didn't have very much in comparison. But when I went to the youth centre, I had everything. I had both my parents. It was two different worlds. And it taught me, and I didn't know this, my parents knew, but it taught me how to communicate with people, how to empathize with people, how to speak people's languages, how to deliver a message in a different way to a different human being and get a positive result from it. That is the foundation of my success. Not my education, but pounding the streets with the kids, skateboarding with all the rude boys, half of them have gone to prison, and understanding how to navigate that process as a kid, but also go to school and also study and then go into a working environment, whereas as a 17-year-old, you're told go and work.
Yep.
So fundamentally, like you learnt life rules very quickly, and in the situation, like you said, some of your friends maybe didn't take the right kind of
You were never put in a
roads.
box.
Yeah, no, I think it's like you learn, like as children sometimes are like told, you go do this, you go do that. And I think what's really sad sometimes, they go to school and it's like, this is right, that's wrong. Well, actually, there's no really wrong way if you're really educating yourself and learning. Yes, sometimes 1 + 1, it is 2 at the end of the day. That's right or wrong. But the life skills on the bigger picture, you have to talk to people. That's what you're so good at, Curtis. You're so good at, you just talk.
From what you were saying, I've had friends with no money. I've had friends with loads of money. I've had both ends of the world. And like you said, you do talk. People act differently in different groups. It's the way things are. And you learn how to talk to people and how to mingle and mangle with everybody. And I feel like it does help in all situations, especially throughout my life.
You realise very early on what gratitude is.
Oh, 1000%.
Right?
And what trust is.
And what trust is, but you have to learn that. You have to learn that. But the value of the simple things, like my dad would take me to football on Sunday morning. He was the manager of the football team.
Yeah.
That was amazing looking back at it.
Yeah.
Most of the kids, or some of the kids, would turn up with boot bags, and in the boot bags at the age of 13, there was whiskey, condom, football boots, and shin pads. Like, I never knew what that was all about.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And there was problems, and you know, we had to pick the kids up from certain places. My dad's a loving guy, like a really loving, caring guy. And I learnt so much from that. So now in today's life, when I'm around phenomenally successful people, seeing, you know, the most expensive things you could ever see, and it's all around me, honestly, I'm not fussed by it.
Just before we go anywhere, thank you very much for listening to Freedom Impact Trust. We love your feedback, so please do leave a review because it helps others find us, doesn't it, Curtis?
Yes, it does. Comment, subscribe, like, share it to a friend. Let everybody in the world know that this is the podcast that you're enjoying, and let us know what you loved about it. We enjoy talking to you guys. We enjoy having fun, and we can't wait to see you and hear you on the next episode.
Plus, we want to thank our sponsor, FINT, the financial investment app, making investing easy from as little as £50 a month. You guys are awesome. We love you. We're part of you.
Don't forget, it's all through 3 portfolios, AJ. Nice and simple.
I know. Have a great day.
See you later, guys.